Can we deploy the hardware boxes the way we can do with the virtual boxes also? Can we deploy the Viptela edge boxes and Cisco edge boxes under all the circumstances, under all the method? What will be the process to upgrade the code when your field engineer is on the site? And what are the prerequisites that we have to deploy any boxes? Like, is there any basic parameter that we need to cater before we are going to deploy any boxes? What are those checks that we have to consider before we go and proceed for any deployment of Cisco SD-WAN boxes? Hello everyone, this is Ajit here. Welcome to channel one more time. And today we are going to discuss about how to deploy Cisco SD-WAN edge boxes. What more important here is that this is the most common and most asked questions during interview, and probably the first questions during your Cisco SD-WAN interview, like how to deploy Cisco SD-WAN boxes in terms of migration, or in terms of if you are part of operation engineer, when you have a field engineer on the site, even if you are opting for automated method or manual method or the bootstrap method, whatever method you have, which method to opt under which circumstances. And in case if one method is not available, what to do with the different method. All those things we are covering in this video. So I tried to accumulate those information and in a very organized way, so that can help you to understand step-by-step process how to deploy the Cisco SD-WAN boxes under different method, and when to use which method and which box support which method, because every box is not supporting which method. And now during interview, in order to understand your practical experience, whether you have the practical exposure or not, interviewer can mold the question in a different way. Like, for example, he can ask you this question like, can we deploy the can we use the bootstrap method to deploy the virtual boxes? Stay tuned to this video till the end, so that you can learn important about how to deploy the Cisco SD-WAN boxes. Very big thanks to all the guys who have joined this channel, who took the membership of this channel, Sayan Das or Saeed Amir or Rajesh Surugani. Thanks guys. Do join my WhatsApp group till now if you haven't joined them. That is designed only for you guys. Link in the description also. You can join from there till now if you haven't done that. And guys who wants to join the channel, do join the membership. There are different level of membership. You can join the channel as per your requirement, and then you can gain the expertise how to clear your network interview, and also to how to explore the knowledge as much as you can. So let's start this video now, and let's go to the screen now. So guys, in this video we are going to cover about what all the available options we have to deploy the SD-WAN devices. So this could be the CH devices, or it's a Viptela edge devices. Then we will also cover about the step-by-step guide for hardware WAN edge devices, like what all steps we have under each deployment options, how to onboard CH hardware boxes under different deployment options, and also how to onboard vEdge hardware boxes under different deployment options. And then at the end, we will be going to cover about how to deploy the virtual WAN boxes. Okay, so the first, let's understand what all deployment options we have. So now you can see, as you can see on the screen now, the first is automated options we have. Then we have the bootstrap options, and then we have the manual options. So there are three ways that we can deploy your Cisco SD-WAN WAN edge devices. Okay, automated, bootstrap, and manual. Now this could be with the hardware box or the virtual box. So let's understand, like, can we deploy any WAN edge device with any method? The answer is, let's explore the answer. So the first option that we have is automated one. Automated can only be used by the CH and vEdge both, where CH use the PNP portal and vEdge use the ZTP portal. Okay, and now next step is your bootstrap. Now bootstrap can only be used by your CH, that is your Cisco edge boxes. So we cannot deploy Viptela edge boxes with bootstrap method. Okay, so this could be another questions during interview. Just to might be interview wants to assess whether you have practical exposure to that or not. And third, we have the manual way of deploying the box, which is again CH and vEdge both can be deployed with the manual method. Okay, so the first method that we have is automated method. Now automated method says that, like, let's suppose this is my edge device, because in automated method we can use CH and vEdge both. So the first step, it says what it will does, it will obtain the DHCP, and with the DHCP, it will obtain the IP address, and after that, it will resolve the DNS. Now, this DNS will what it will resolve the server. It's a CH box or it's a VH box. According to the box itself, it will resolve the DNS name. DNS there means that's the server name. It is ztp.viptela.com, and for CH it is devicehelper.cisco.com. Now this is a separate question that can be asked: what the server name for CH and what the VH. So for your purpose, please make a note of those things also. That is available on the server. Now, once you have the reachability of, once you have your IP address, once you have, able to resolve the server name according to the box type that you have, what next step is that what it does, it your server will give you the vBond IP as per the organization name. Okay, so every customer has one smart account. Each smart account has connected to your organization name, and under each organization name, you have your vEdge devices, which customer has buy or purchased from Cisco, and that has to be onboarded to your. This is what onboarding that you are doing. So that profile has to be maintained on the vManage. All the devices name has to be loaded there. So these are certain prerequisite. And then once your server will give the vBond IP, what will happen? It will check. It will establish a transit connection with vBond with the system IP as 0000. That's important. Edge authenticate with chassis and serial number and root certificate. Once authenticated, it will provide IP of vManage and vSmart. Okay, so with your edge devices, whether irrespective of CH or VH, it will establish a transit connection. When we say it's a transit connection, that means it is not a permanent connection. It's like this, it's temporary connection. Once it only established once. Whenever it required, it will try again, but there's no permanent connection with your edge box and with your vBond, which is now known as validator. Okay, now as in this case, in automated method, your system IP at initial level is not defined, right? Because there's a new box that you have. Okay, there's a new hardware box that you have. Now, in that case, the system IP is the same like your router ID that we have in the traditional network. So in this case, as we don't have any IP defined in the edge box, the system IP will be configured as 0.0.0.0. And once validation will be done, and then what it will does, it will provide the, it will connect your edge box to the vManager. vManager will again authenticate this box with the chassis number and serial number and the certificate number. And once it will check, then it will push the configuration to the edge box. And then once the configuration will be pushed from your vManage to your edge box, then edge box will establish a connection with your vSmart controller. This is the complete step-by-step process that normally happens. Okay, so whenever you opt for the automated method, this is what exactly happened. So let me rephrase this. So once you have your edge box can be your CH or VH. It will obtain the IP address with the help of DHCP. When it says DHCP, that means if you, in your network, if you have your MPLS network and the internet network, then initially with the automated method, because all these things are available on the internet, so you should use your internet link, not the MPLS link. Okay, that is recommended. But in case if you want to use MPLS link, then that's a different process. Process will remain the same, but again, it will goes from MPLS, it will go to the data center, and from data center, it will again go to your internet firewall or in the internet link. Okay, so it all depends how you want to onboard that. So once you have internet link, then it will resolve with the help of DNS. It will resolve the server name depending upon your device name that you have, and then accordingly it will give the IP address of the vBond. vBond will check with the help of device serial number and the chassis number, because each device has its own chassis number and the serial number and the root certificate. It will validate the box with the help of system IP address, which is 0.0.0 initial level. And once it will authenticate it, it will provide the IP address of the vManage, and vManage and SD and the vSmart, both IP will be given to the edge box. Edge box will establish a permanent DTLS connection with your SD-WAN box controller, whether vManage or vSmart. So this is the Bootstrap method. Now in this method, as we know that this method is only applicable for C edge devices, that is Cisco edge devices. Now here, when we say Cisco edge devices, that means this method is quite a mix of automated and manual method. Now in automated method that we already know that we need an internet connection, and then your device, once it boot up, it will try to connect to the PNP portal if it's a CH device, or it will try to connect to the ZTP portal if it's a vEdge device. But in Bootstrap method, as it's a fresh new device that needs to be onboarded by the field engineer, but that doesn't have any configuration. Okay, so by default, the nature of any vEdge device is to try to connect to the PNP portal, as it's a CH device that only support in Bootstrap. So first and foremost thing is that Bootstrap method is there's certain prerequisite, certain conditions, certain parameter, or certain requirement we have that needs to be matched, and there are certain conditions that you should be aware about before you go for the Bootstrap method. So let's understand what you need to know, things that you have to remember in terms of Bootstrap method. Now, Bootstrap method, it says the factory default vEdge device has no configuration on the device. Upon boot up, the plug and play process running on the vEdge device looks for a file that contains the device configuration, as I was telling you. So the device look for the file in the boot flash, and if not found, then search in a bootable USB drive. If the configuration file is found, the device would load the configuration to the device as part of a plug and play process. So initially, as I told you, the vEdge device will be it's a it's a flash new device with no configuration on the device. So the moment you boot up the device, first thing it will try to load the configuration. Now, to load the configuration, by default, it has to look into its boot flash. Now there is no configuration there, so what it does, it will look for the bootable USB or any external device through which it can take the configuration and do the basic work, so that can initiate the PNP port, connectivity. So this is the default behavior of any vEdge device. Now this Bootstrap method, as I said, it can only be used when there is no possibility of dynamic IP allocation. Now dynamic IP allocation is normally done when you have the internet availability, that is DHCP is available. Okay, so but in this case, when you are in a situation where internet link is not available, or your edge device is connected to MPLS, or due to any other connectivity, it's via sub interface. So there are certain connectivity where internet access is not possible. In that case, Bootstrap method is usable. Okay, so it says that the onboard option, that is a Bootstrap option, is recommended when the device is connected to a private WAN transport, normally MPLS, that cannot provide a dynamic IP address. Okay, or when no internet access is available to reach the plug and play connect server, or when a WAN interface need additional configuration, achieving connectivity like sub interface, as I told you. The vEdge could be either pre-staged before being brought to the install site, or the Bootstrap configuration can be loaded onto a USB key and inserted into a WAN edge at the install site. So what it says that your vEdge box, the CH box that you have, one thing that you can do, you can have a pre-stage before you there are certain configuration that you can have by Cisco itself. It is managed by Cisco. The certain account which is Cisco managed, they can do the configuration and then send the device on the site. Or there are certain sites, if your remote engineer has to create a Bootstrap configuration via vManage. I will explain you how to do that. And then those basic configuration that is needed, so that those Bootstrap configuration that you are creating, that will be loaded into the USB stick, and then your field engineer will plug that USB bootable stick to your vEdge device, and when your device will boot up, it will take the configuration from your USB stick. Okay. Now with this option, you need to have the WAN device in vManage and have a device template built for it. You can then go into vManage and generate the Bootstrap configuration. In any case, for all the device, it has to be uploaded on the vManage. That is the initial requirement for any vEdge device, irrespective of any deployment. So device has to be uploaded on the vManage, and then as this for this specific device for which you want to go to Bootstrap deployment, you need to select that device and you need to create a device template. That means there are certain basic configuration, certain basic requirement, set of information that is needed for each device, such device which needs to be Bootstrap to uh, connect itself to the portal or start working. Okay, so there's certain basic configuration that is needed. So what it says that how to do that, what you have to do, you have to go to vManage, then go to device, then you go to vEdge to the right hand side. So configuration device, from there you select the device as I selected this, and then there's a three dot, you right click on this. From there you select generate Bootstrap configuration. Now once you click on that, click OK to generate it as a cloud init. The moment you click on generate Bootstrap, another box will appear on the screen like this. From there you select the cloud init. The moment you select cloud init and click OK on it, whatever the basic configuration that you have already put up. Okay, and when you say basic configuration, that means your system IP, your organization name, your vBond IP, all those details will be, that's your basic configuration that will populate. As you can see here, the configure device template populates as the generate Bootstrap configuration on screen. You need to click on download to the local download the populated configuration into your local workstation. So you need to click on download. Okay, so once you click on download, now this file will be saved in a specific file name. So by default, it will save, as you can see here. So all the downloaded Bootstrap file will be in the format of chassis number and .cfg, as you can see here. Okay, now the configuration file consists of a system properties. All the configuration should be contain your UID, user ID, root certificate, vBond IP, DNS, and organization information, and configuration from the attached feature template that if you want to configure like on the BGP feature or AAA feature or syslog feature, all those things that if you want to use, that's called the feature template that you enabled with the help of Bootstrap configuration. So if you have done it, it will take those configuration and then you will generate a file with the name called chassis number.cfg. Now with this chassis number.cfg file, that is not recommended by Cisco to use it. So what Cisco does, the CH device, where Bootstrap method is only supported by CH. So there are certain set of devices for which the configuration file name has to be different. Let's take here. So if you are in your organization, if you want to go with the Bootstrap with these three type of devices, which concerns ASR 1000, ISR 1000, ISR 4000, which all support Bootstrap, the file name has to be Cisco sdwan.cfg. So you have to rename this file from chassis underscore number to Cisco sdwan.cfg. And if you're using ASR 1002X file, then you have to name Cisco sdwan underscore cloud underscore init.cfg file. Okay, so that is the basic requirement. So once you download the configuration, you need to rename them depending upon what kind of device hardware you have. And then once you rename them, then you reload the device. Once you reload the device, it will take the configuration which you have set up during your device template. And those configuration will be generated with the help of Bootstrap configuration. So let's understand this entire process by the diagram. So this is your CH device. You have your USB bootable or the SD card, whatever you prefer method you have, your field engineer have. So he went to the site, he upload the configuration. You have given the configuration to the field engineer. The field engineer will went to the site and he will plug the USB stick to the USB port of the CH device. The moment your router will be reloaded, it will try to connect to the vBond IP which you have given in the configuration. Once it will try to connect to the vBond IP with the help of chassis number and serial number that is already there, it will validate the device. Once it will validate the device, it will share the IP address of vManager and the vSmart. Okay, so I think that is very much clear to you. So in this method, this is the manual method. Again, the manual method is again where you have to send the field engineer on the site. Now, there are two ways that is normally happen here.
Number one way, when your box doesn't have the new code, it is running with the old version of the code. Then how to deploy uh, your edge boxes? Because with the manual we can deploy C edge and V edge both. Okay, so first we'll understand if we have to first upgrade the code, then what will be the process, and if we don't have to upgrade the code, then what will be the process. Okay, so first number thing, we have to upload the new code with the help of FTP or TFTP. Then we have to take the backup of the current configuration of the WAN edge box that we have by running the command copy run flash. I have already mentioned the command name there. Then you have to remove the existing boot statement and save the configuration with the help of this command. You can make a note of these steps because that will help you in the production environment also. And fourth step will says add a boot variable that points to the SD-WAN image. Now here we will point to the new code that we already have. So in your boot flash, we have two image. One is your old image, and now the second image will be the our new image that we have. And then we'll use the right memory command, and then we'll confirm with the help of show boot variable whether your boot variable is pointing to the new code or not. Once you confirm that it is pointing to the new code, we will you know remove all the existing configuration from the box, like whatever configuration it has apart from the code, and then we will reload the box. Once we reload the box, we will log in with the default username and password, which is admin, and there it will again ask you to change the password. Once you change the password, once you log in at the same time, because your box has a new code, so it will try to initiate the PNP process. So you have to stop the PNP process with this command, PNP service discovery stop. Once you run this command, it will stop this PNP process. And then you have to configure the upgrade. Once PNP has stopped, you need to use this command to configure the IOS request platform software SD-WAN software upgrade confirm. Once you run this command, it will take some time, and after that you have to use this SD-WAN software show SD-WAN software command, and there you will see user. If you see this as an output, that means your software is upgraded to the new code. Your box is now on the new code. Once you are done with that, you have to use this command request platform software SD-WAN software reset. Once you're done with that, final step you have to do, you have to add the device to the plug and play connect portal. This will be done manually by grabbing the output of the show crypto PKI certificate Cisco IDV sudo command, and then put the value to this box. So and go to configuration from device, select device from there. From under serial number, you have to copy the value which you will get from this command. Okay. Once you have that, this certificate number, serial number will be copied there. And once we are done that, then you can sync your smart account to the vManage and you will see your device in the list. Now this method or process is only for in case you have to your box when your field engineer is on the side and he has to onboard a device, but before onboarding the device, he has to upgrade to the new code. So this is the process that you need to follow. Everything is mentioned by step with the command. Do follow this. Make a note of these things. Even if that will help you in production environment. But from the interview point of view, you just need to know the steps, how to upgrade. That will also help you, and it will tell the interviewer that you have the practical exposure also, in case if you doesn't have. Now, once you're done with that, as there's no configuration from the factory preloaded, we'll have to put the basic configuration on ourselves. So once you can see the device in the vManage, now you have to give the basic configuration so that it will check. Okay, so it will look for the vBond directly, and what will tell the device to look the vBond directly and don't go through the PNP process. So as you can see here, so these are the basic configuration that is needed in your new WAN box. So under system, you have to type the system IP address, site ID, vBond IP, and the organization name. Under VPN 0, you have to mention the WAN IP and the subnet mask. Then you have to decide about the color tunnel configuration. Should we include your color, your encapsulation with the IPsec or GRE? All these things you need to mention. That's a minimum configuration. And last and not the least, your routing, your dynamic routing or default route to provide reachability to the SD-WAN controller. So once all these things be done, then you need to provide this information, so that once we have this information, then your 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 new box will be available to the controller, and there will be connectivity between your underlay and the overlay. I think it's very clear to you. Now, this is needed for the device to reach the vBond SD-WAN controller upon device authentication and authorization by the vBond orchestrator, and subsequently the vManage and vSmart controller. The vEdge device makes a permanent control connection with the vManage and vSmart controller. Now here again, the same thing, in case if we are onboarding device without any new code, the field simply or engineer is on the site. So what he has to provide, you need to provide them the basic information. Once he will take the console of your box, and then you have to provide the same, all this information over the phone to him or on the email, depending upon your work. Same information you need to provide to the your field engineer in case if he doesn't has to upgrade the code. I think that is very simple, clear. So in during interview, it might ask you that what are the basic or minimum requirement for any on device to be onboarded. So this is the minimum requirement for to onboard the device. Now, number one, at initial level, only these are the most required information. To have the connectivity between underlay and overlay, these information are needed. The information needed, and if you want your edge box to provide you the communication, then you have to provide dynamic routing or the default route towards your to the SD-WAN controller. That will help you to do the routing part also. Now the last question left is, what about the virtual WAN edge boxes? Now we have covered hardware boxes, how to deploy the hardware boxes. So do we need to follow the same process for the virtual WAN boxes? No, because with the virtual WAN boxes, we don't have the serial number and the chassis number. So without serial number or the chassis number, vManage or vBond cannot authenticate the device. So how to do that? Here what happens is with your virtual or software CH do not have the chassis or serial number. So PNP server generates a unique serial number when the software device is added in the PNP portal. Virtual WAN device do not have root certificates pre-installed. So authenticating this device require the use of one-time password generated by vManage. Upon successful authentication of the device by the vManage SD-WAN controller, the vManage install root certificate on the device. So your vBond, what will do? Your PNP server will give the unique serial number to the vBond to authenticate it. Once it has vBond authenticated, then your vBond will give the IP to the of vManage, and then vManage will what it does, and it doesn't have the root certificate installed. So what it will do, it will give the one-time password to authenticate the device. This is a default feature of all the Cisco or Viptela Edge devices that is our virtual or on the software base. So I hope it is very clear to you guys.